What's going on, everybody? Welcome on back to another episode of Nick Reviews Anything. And today, once again, I am out in my backyard. It's a nice day today. And if the video looks a little different, it's because I'm using my laptop today, because this is going to be a video that uses a lot of screen recording. Um, if you saw the thumbnail, you'll see that today's video is about an online car inspection service. Bugs, right? Anyway, it's called carinspector.us. Now, what they do is they go and they inspect a car for you when the car is in a place that you're not able to get to. It could be 1,000 miles away, which is the case for me. I've been looking for a second vehicle, and I'm also very cheap. So I've been looking at online car auctions, specifically car insurance auctions, which you probably think, yes, a lot of these cars are wrecked and they're no good. And believe me, there are plenty of those, but you can still find clean title, run and drive cars that have been donated or for whatever reason they get sent through these auctions. Now, I've been using IAA, which is Insurance Auto Auctions, and through their website and app, you can contact carinspector.us to inspect the cars for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a vehicle that I was looking at, and it was, I think it was about 1,000 miles away. I'm in Michigan. I believe this one was in, I think it's Nebraska or Minnesota. Anyway, we'll get to the specifics of it when I get to that part of the video. But we're going to go through Insurance Auto Auctions listing for this vehicle, and then I'm going to go through what carinspector.us found with this vehicle, and in doing so, saved me a lot of money and probably a lot of headaches. So with that, um, let's get into it. Okay, guys, we are back. And what I wanted to do was show you the car that I was looking at. And this is at Insurance Auto Auctions website. We're looking at this 2003 Chevy Suburban V71. And I said before I wasn't sure where it was. It's actually from Minneapolis, and I'm in Michigan. Now, I ran the transport fees that I'm not going to show you because it gives my address, and, well, I don't want to dox myself. But anyway, delivery fees to me is $950. Okay, that's fine. And as you can see here, there's a pre-bid and a buy it now. Now, this buy it now has come down from when I was looking at this vehicle. It was $750, which, the price you think is not that big of a deal. The problem with this is you can see, even at $650, we can see the estimate and we can see a lot of fees. These are all the buyer fees that are involved here. If I was to win this vehicle at $650, it ends up racking up to $1,085. And bear in mind, the shipping fees were $950. So you're looking at a little over $2,000 for this car if I was to take it just like this. So anyway, I figured, honestly, this is if you know what you know about these types of vehicles, this generation of the Chevys, this is the GMT 800, I believe, which is the Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, Avalanche, all from the same area. They're one of the most reliable vehicles that have ever been made. These things routinely will go for 300, 400,000 miles with typical maintenance on them, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of why I was looking for one of these. And this one, honestly, this didn't look that bad. We can go to the HD views here, and as you can see, it's a nice white color, so it doesn't show a lot of the problems with it. And also, when you look at this dashboard here, it shows you the loss, and loss meaning why it was ended up at this auction. Usually, if it's an accident, it'll tell you where the accident was, etc., etc. Primary damage, secondary damage, the title, clear title, run and drive. Scroll down, just regular information about the vehicle. And anyway, back to the pictures. We got this one here, other side, and you can see it's got plenty of rust, which, I'm from Michigan, so I'm used to this. I can clearly see the rockers are rusted out. This area is rusted out. Again, it's bad, but from where I'm from, it's not terrible. This is rusted out here, but honestly, it looks okay from a distance. Not that big of a deal. Interior, you can see seats torn. This seat's torn. Headliner's sagging. Other than that, doesn't look too bad. This is the worst area. Again, um, you could buy a patch panel, patch it up, or you just drive it like it is, which is what I would do because I don't care. Um, this was alarming to me. This is a Cadillac Escalade cluster, so that means that the original cluster was replaced. This cluster shows 205,000 miles. Um, I ran a Carfax on this Suburban, and the cluster was replaced somewhere around 180,000 miles. So the miles are unknown on this vehicle because this thing got put in, and I don't know what the original miles showed on this cluster. Now it shows 205. So the original miles is north of 180,000 miles. But looking at it, the airbag light's on, no big deal. Good oil pressure, batteries charging, et cetera, et cetera. Back seat looks perfectly fine. Just regular information. Shot of the engine here. Nothing crazy. This does look crooked to me, so it's not on properly. Again, not a big deal. They always show a picture of the keys and a couple more pictures of the rust, which you can tell is bad. But again, it's rocker rust, so whatever. Now, the good thing about Insurance Auto Auctions is they always give you a video of the car running if it does run and drive. So click on this, it'll show it running and not driving, but it'll show it running. Now, it's hard to hear it, and there's a lot of wind noise, so it sounds like the engine surging to me. But again, it could just be the wind noise. Also, notice it needed a jump pack to jump start it. Again, these cars sit there for months on end, so the battery's dead. No big deal. So I was very tempted to do this, but something was telling me, you know what, get a second opinion. I know you're thinking, yeah, it's only $2,000. Yeah, it's only $2,000. But when you start adding in things that could be wrong with it and things you have to replace, that can add up. Now, if you scroll down here, see this request inspection here. This is what I was talking about, where you get the inspection through carinspector.us. They've partnered with IAA. They probably have partnered with other inspection services as well. And you can do it through this. So, you click on this, add in your information. This is already preloaded. And then you click submit. It takes you to their payment portal. Now, they do charge $200 per inspection, at least for this Suburban. I don't know if it's cheaper for cars, if it's more expensive for other vehicles. I don't know. All I can tell you is that I paid $200 for the inspection. So, it takes them about 2 days to get back to you. So you have to keep that in mind, that the car is not going to be auctioned off within 2 days of requesting the inspection, because they probably won't get back to you in time. So it's important to give yourself 2 to 3 days for them to get back to you, give you their inspection report, and go from there. So what I'm going to show you is exactly what they gave me. This is over here. They give you the date inspected, the time inspected, etc., etc. Again, the website's not fantastic, but who cares? I don't care about their website. Shows everything here. It gives you their overall condition, poor. It gives you what they found to the best of their knowledge. This is another thing I was worried about with the rust was the frame, because these do have frame issues at times. Um, and again, we got pillars, flood water line. I wasn't aware of that, but it may have sat in the water at some point. Keys present. This was a comment when it said pillars need repair, pillars rust on the bottom. Again, they'll show you pictures of this. These are things that I can't check because I'm just going off of pictures, but they can. The oil level, low, oil condition, poor, coolant, empty coolant. Now, it could just be as simple as a broken coolant reservoir. It could be indicative of a bad radiator. It could be indicative of the thing mixing coolant with oil, considering the oil levels poor. Um, Probably not, because if it was mixing coolant with the oil, it would probably be overfilled rather than underfilled. But obviously, there's an issue there. Power steering fluid and condition, poor and low. Brake fluid, poor and low. Belts were determined to be good. Hoses, fair, means they probably need to be replaced. And here's some um, mechanicals that they were to find. However, IAA would not let them jumpstart the vehicle. I think they should. These are professional car inspectors. They should be allowed to jumpstart the car, but whatever. This inspector could only do what he was able to do with what he was given. So we can scroll down here. The interior, carpet, service, front seats need replacement because they were torn. But again, this is just your typical things. Now, these are things you don't get this with IAA's listing. So keep this in mind when you're realizing you spent $200. They're giving you a pretty thorough inspection. This is another one you can't see through pictures. Mold, mildew, and odor. Yes. So clearly there's an issue there with potentially water leaking inside or whatever. There's a smell. And then he leaves his comments. Carpet's dirty, front seat's warm. All these things he was unable to test because the battery's dead and he was not allowed to jumpstart it. He does his thorough, I should say it could be a she. I don't know for sure. Doesn't tell you. So excuse me for saying that. But they look over the body. And, fender, front door, rear door, quarter panel, rocker panel, service, replacement, rust, passenger side, same thing, quarter panel, rocker, rust. Here's the front, bumper, hood, grill, headlamps. These all look to be in good condition. The rear, again, tires is another one you can't see usually through the pictures. The engine, again, says it would not start. He does say in here that they weren't allowed to jumpstart it. So is what it is. Transmission, I mean, they can't really do much. Again, unable to test. Now, granted, depending on what facility you're having your vehicle tested through, if they're able to and the car starts, they will take it for a little bit of a test drive to see if the transmission works properly, brakes, etc. So again, steering, suspension, you can't test much. Brakes, can't test too much. Air conditioning, he says they're normal leaks. It's hard to say. He must have seen something that gave that indication because he couldn't really test it. Same thing, drivetrain, catalytic converters. You could not verify if that's present or not. They even will do a paint thickness, as you can see here. Again, this is a very cheap car. I don't care, but if you were buying an expensive vehicle, that's probably very important. Additional notes: see, no power to test anything. The facility would not allow a jump. Most panels are rusted out. Interior shows everywhere. Please see the photos. Now here, he gives more photos. Actually, this is not. Scroll down. Oh, this is they do decode the VIN for you, as you can see. Again, not important to me, but would be important to the vehicle you're looking at. Here we go. They will send you one video of the vehicle. They give you a walk around to show you the vehicle. He's probably thinking, why is this guy in wanting an inspection of this vehicle? But again, I like these old Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, etc. But they just give you another view.
There you go. Don't run. No power, no nothing.
There you go.
Thank you.
But they do give you a lot more pictures, as we can see here. Now, if you loaded these on your phone, you can zoom into these a little better than on here. But as you can see, pictures are more thorough. This shows where it was, who's selling it, which is Peddle. They basically buy cars from people who don't want to deal with selling them themselves. So these are basically donated vehicles. Kind of. Don't care about that. This is showing you the things they find in the car. Obviously, it's dirty. I get it. We get another interior shot here, which is showing wires hanging from underneath. You know, what could that be? Again, they're looking out for you and trying to show you the real condition of the vehicle. Back doors, again, gauge cluster, back. You know, they show you a lot more. This was another one that was not in the insurance auto auction listing. This is a drive shaft. Is it from this vehicle? Could be. Not sure. It's probably the front drive shaft because it looks a little too short to be the rear. So that tells me if this is from this vehicle, four-wheel drive doesn't work. Could be the transfer case, could be the differential. Don't really know, but clearly there's an issue there. To keep that in mind. That was important. More outside pictures. Again, they go all around the vehicle. They show you everything, more than the 10 pictures. This was another one that was found. Now, I'm not sure how they were able to get these codes considering the car was dead. Um, this might have been left in the vehicle. I'm not sure. But clearly, there's the PO 300 random multiple misfire detection. So, what we were hearing in that original video showed you that the engine was surging. There was an issue there. It was misfiring rather than the wind. Evaporative emission, no big deal. ABS, probably a bad ABS sensor, solenoid control module, whatever. But this is a big one because that's a pain to try to find. Again, more of this. Glove box, you know, dashboard. Here's a better picture of the seats. These always are worn out. Again, not a big deal. Better pictures of the engine, you know, hoses, etc. Here's the oil. He shows you the oil level. Very dark, very low. You know, here's a better picture of the rust. You can see it's completely rusted out. You know, again, it's from Minnesota. Yes, it's completely rusted, but the frame, he said, was fine. So I don't care about rust, but you might. It just shows you they're very thorough in the amount of pictures they give you. They're showing you everything. Here's the paint thickness for the different panels. This is a brand new battery. This was also kind of weird. Two of 25. There was a new battery. Somebody was trying to get this thing running and moving and clearly gave up on it and just got rid of it. There's another thing to tell you something. More of the rust. You know, he's basically showing, you know, it's in rough condition. More paint thickness, carpet underneath, but it's blurry. There's a go. So he gives you the spare. Got a hose here hanging. More of this. I think these are the tire pressures, tire size, brand, etc., etc. You know, let's scroll through these. More pictures of the interior. You know, this is messed up. This is busted out. And, you know, a lot of wear and tear. I get it. sunroof. Obviously, we're missing a cap there. More underneath. Look at all these pictures, guys. And that's it. So, you know, there's a lot of information to unpack for $200. Okay, guys, so that's everything you find when you have them inspect the car. Um, $200 is expensive. I get it, but you got to think, if I was to bite the bullet and pay the 650, all in, I'm 2 grand about to get the car delivered here. And the drive shaft was concerning. That tells me there's issues with the transfer case, potentially, even possibly the front differential. Low and dirty oil is a bit concerning. There's no coolant, power steering's low, brake fluid's low. So this is going to need a lot of work, which I'm not adverse to doing. It's just, it's the initial cost to get the car here. If this vehicle was located near me, I could go and look at it myself and chop the $900 off for shipping. If this was in Michigan or closer, it'd be a couple $100 to ship the car. So I wasn't able to do that. So by paying $200 to carinspector.us, they saved me time and they saved me headaches because I'm a sucker for those Z71s. And man, I was so tempted to just hit that buy button and roll the dice with it. But after looking at those pictures, I just can't do it. And, I would recommend to you, if you're looking at a vehicle at any of these auction sites, carinspector.us, they did everything that I wanted them to do. And they basically kind of made the decision easy for me. So yes, $200, a little expensive, but in the end, they saved me basically $1,800 at least because just buying it would have been 2 grand. The $200 inspection told me not to do it. So yeah, I mean, I gotta recommend these guys. I was very impressed with the amount of pictures, the video, the comments. The guy did a good job. So, you know what? If you're looking at these things and you can't inspect the cars yourself, give these guys a shout. I highly recommend. You know, let them give you all the information they can give you so you can make an informed decision when you're making a big purchase like this. So, with that being said, um, yeah, I recommend them. $200, it was worth it in my opinion. So, all right, guys. Kind of a long video today. I know I've been doing a lot of food, but I figured change it up, kind of tell you what's going on here in my personal life. And yeah. So I will leave a link to IAA and carinspector.us in the not the comments. I'll leave it down below. Now, I noticed when you go to carinspector.us's website, you can't request the inspection there, at least from what I saw. You have to do it through the auction site. And I will also say that Insurance Auto Auction, the app, I couldn't get the inspection to go through. It wouldn't, kept saying the car was not available to inspect. So I went to the desktop site and everything worked fine there. So just a little bit of a glitch. But I mean, you can see from the pictures. I think it was a good thing. All right, with that being said, I'm finally going to get out of here. If you like what you see, feel free to hit that like button. Also, if you have any questions about either of the websites, feel free to give me a shout. Ask me any questions you have. If you like what you see, leave a comment. Would like that too. If you've also used these guys, good or bad, let me know what you think. I'm always curious of other people's opinions. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me for this longer video, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.